your martial arts movie podcast.
I threw that shit before I walked in the room.
Featuring drunken Thai boxer Will.
Too bad you will die.
The also drunken wrestler Mark.
I said I don't want trouble.
And drunken karate master Zero.
You've lost your balls.
And now,
Call. I know Kung Fu.
You know, baby.
Fists of Fail.
This movie makes me want to switch to Judaism.
It's that good?
This movie makes me believe that karate is just a marketing ploy from consumer goods. Oh my God! We're talking about Karate Christmas Miracle. Happy holidays!
It's a special episode for Christmas because it's a Christmas-themed martial arts movie.
Oh my God!
Not really. I mean, it really is, but it's not really at all a martial arts movie.
I can safely say I cannot wait for this year to end just because of this movie. Holy crap. Yeah, we chose this because why not? Because festiveness and holidays.
Are there any other Christmas-themed martial arts movies?
Well, I don't know. We chose this movie because of the title. And that's it. That's the only reason why we're doing this today. This is a general review. So you guys, you patient listeners, aren't going to be like, what the fuck, I'm paying money for you to talk about
No, I would never
karate.
Anybody pay money for us to listen to talk about this. I'm not even saying that right.
Yeah. No, I hear what you mean. Oh my God. This is, well, I mean, it has Martin Cove. It has Eric Roberts.
Does it?
The directors filmed the two of these people on a completely different occasion and then wrote the script around them. That's essentially what happened.
Is that what happened?
It had to be, because every scene, every dialogue with them makes no sense. It's like what is it? Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now. Like, that dude just fucking ad-libbed everything, and then they just kind of wrote everything around him.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. So this is like the Apocalypse Now of martial arts Christmas movies. That's what you're implying.
It's just as good. Just as good. And those two actors, every scene with them in it, it's like what they're saying makes no sense. There's no like their dialogue, like it's like a random mishmash of like obscure, esoteric things, and then if anyone's going to be interacting with them, it's like they're trying their hardest to try to piece it all together, and then the rest of the movie is just I don't even know how to talk about this film. It's so incomprehensible. Did you find this movie hard to follow?
Oh, incredibly hard to follow. I mean, I also found Apocalypse Now a little hard to follow at times,
so
but maybe
just
for
like Apocalypse Now.
You know how else this is like Apocalypse Now? Remember that scene where Martin Sheen gets drunk and starts like rambling?
Yeah.
In his room, we have a psychic turned lawyer who also likes to get drunk and ramble. That's my secondary loose connection to Apocalypse Now as well. I'll see if I can make any other ones.
Oh, okay, I'll
during
make
the course
one.
of this movie.
I'll make one because this movie made me want to punch a mirror until I was a bloody mess, because this is awful.
Did this movie make you want to slaughter cattle?
Yes, absolutely. Like anything anything that was a little bit more entertaining than this film, because man, this movie drags. It's barely a story, and somehow they made this 80-minute film like just feel like an eternity.
Oh boy, I have a confession to make. I checked out really hard watching this movie. I was holding on for my dear life, really trying, and I don't even remember at what point I stopped, not even stopped paying attention. It was one of those things where you're actively when you're looking at the screen, but you're not actively taking in or retaining information anymore.
Yeah.
And then the movie ends, and I said, wait,
What?
I didn't even, I don't think I was watching any of this because it was just over. It was the longest zone out I've ever experienced.
It's almost like a drug trip. Almost, right? Yeah. Well, I wouldn't. Maybe we shouldn't go that far.
I wouldn't give it that much credit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, yeah, that's giving it too much, credit. Okay, so Karate Christmas Miracle, because you zoned out, and I tried my hardest to understand the movie. It's God, explaining it is somehow going to be harder than every freaking movie we've ever had to explain. Just because of as the words are gonna escape my mouth, I'm realizing how dumb it sounds. It's about a father who goes missing, and the mother is trying her hardest to figure out what happened. But she's a career woman. She's business. She's Mrs. Business because she's all business. Business.
During what event does he go missing?
Kwanzaa. Clearly. I mean, that's why this movie's called A Karate Christmas Miracle.
No, he goes missing during a mass shooting at a theater.
Oh, that's what you're alluding
Christmas
to.
Day.
Yes.
It's so specific. I don't understand why that writing choice.
Yeah. Okay. Let's back up there. Yes, you're right. So he goes missing, and to talk about the shooting, they go really specific about that. They're like, there's a killer clown, and there's Eric Roberts is like, I think he's like a mastermind or something like that, and he has a whole bunch of folks imprisoned in this theater. And it's a bunch of folks, by the way. It's a bunch of people. And you have no idea what these flashback scenes, or even if they are flashbacks, maybe they're happening concurrently with the rest of the movie. I don't know. They just keep cutting through these scenes, and you have no context of what's going on, what they're talking about, what they're making them do. Are they being subjected to torture? Are they being subjected to a series of games? I don't know. All those scenes make no sense. But back to the freaking boring story about the mother and her son, her 10-year-old son, who in every scene is either wearing PJs in bed or is wearing a gi, because he is aspiring to be a karate black belt. Because he thinks that if he gets the black belt, his father will come back.
And he has to do this, before Christmas. Yes. So he's trying to get a black belt starting from, I think he's on yellow when the movie starts.
Yes.
He's trying to go up rank from yellow to black within 5 days.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, sure.
But the missing part that you're not talking about is that this is self-anointed. He gives up his sensei early on in the movie, so he says that he's training really hard so that he can give himself the black belt. And I'm like, oh
my
no!
God, I completely forgot about that detail. You're right.
He's the youngest McDojo. He is the youngest McDojo in history.
This movie. Okay, so he wants to get his father back, and he believes by getting the black belt, his father will come back to life. I feel like when I was watching the movie, maybe it was me, but I just assumed the father died because he disappeared during a mass shooting. But for me, in my head, I thought that was language they were using because they were so traumatized and they didn't want to let him go.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So there was kind of a mystery as to if he really died or not.
Yeah.
Right?
The beginning of the movie feels like that, right? They use that language, and then pretty soon afterwards, it's like, oh, we're really going with this black belt thing. Okay. And then there's mysticism involved in the movie too. because there is a lawyer.
Yeah, so I mentioned her previously. There is a... Is she a lawyer or is she a
Law
professor
professor.
who teaches law?
Yes.
I think it's like a combination of both, because when we first meet her, she's giving this monologue to her students. And then it's revealed that she used to be a psychic, but she gave up that life because she had a vision that her fiance was going to die. And so she was trying to mess or avoid his fate, so she breaks up with him. And supposedly never keeps in contact with him again, hoping that she saved his life.
Yes.
By, going against her premonition. And I don't really understand what that has to do with her character.
Yeah. Oh God. All right. Well, before we continue, let's just spoil the crap out of this movie.
Wait. Spoil it. Should we spoil it chronologically as we talk about it, or you just
maybe.
just want to
Maybe, but we'll spoil the
regurgitate
hell
it all
out of
now?
Because I'm just putting that disclaimer out there because no one should fucking watch this. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Do you think anybody wants to watch this?
No. Maybe I can't even say like children want to watch it because like that. I think that's what this would appeal to. Maybe you would watch this film and you would see the child as a surrogate, and maybe in the mindset of a child, this would seem fantastical and fun, but it's not. The movie's boring as shit. No child would find this entertaining.
Ooh, so I that's something I wanted to touch on. So you see the title, A Karate Christmas Miracle. As an adult, you're like, yeah, that's cheesy. It's gonna be cheesy. Yeah. But maybe if you have a child who is interested in martial arts, they might see the title and think, oh, that's kind of neat. I'm interested in martial arts. I like Christmas movies or whatnot. Maybe it will cater towards me as this adolescent. And not knowing anything about this movie, I thought that it would focus on the child's journey as he tries to go up in rank, learning martial arts, thinking it'll bring his father back. And the lesson will be, what's the lesson? Improving myself isn't going to bring my dead father back to life. It was about the journey, or I really should have been focusing more on my mother, who was also suffering from the loss, and in the end, it should have been about them maybe coming together, or something along those lines. But then, as I was watching the movie, I realized that the kid is the B plot. It feels like he's not really driving the movie forward, and at one point, he says to his mother, "I'm no longer speaking." I was like, wait, why? And then it just becomes the mother and then the lawyer / psychic who are just rambling on and scene after scene after scene. I didn't know who this movie was for then at this point, right? It's not for kids anymore.
It's not. I don't think it was ever. Maybe initially it was for kids, but the whole movie is. I could barely call it a melodrama because. Okay, fine. Let's call it a melodrama about Christmas or spending time with your children. That's what. If you're gonna break it down, that's really what the movie is. It's about this lawyer character who. Weaves her way somehow into the life of the main character, who is this mom, and teaching her that life isn't all about work. That old tired shtick, that old story that you heard a million times, that freaking jingle all the way is basically the same thing. Right. If you feel to think about it. But yeah, it goes down that route, and then you're right. The B plot about the black belt, whatever. It seems like that is just completely shoehorned. And the way that they're tying it all together is that the son is also having dreams about his father, and all the random, loosely connected scenes of him being held captive, and he doesn't know what to do. So that's why the mother went out to go find this psychic. By the way, before we watch this movie, I skimmed through the film, and I like 90% of the movie is just the main character and this other woman. And I was like, where the fuck is the karate? Where the hell is the Christmas? It's just every scene is practically of these two characters. It's just boring shot, reverse shot.
Oh God,
talking.
Yeah. I think that's
rambling.
I think that's why I just unknowingly checked out, because it's just constantly shot, reverse shot. Every now and then there's an intro shot. Like, you can have lots of dialogue in a movie. There's movies that are dialogue heavy, but if you have a good cinematographer, they know how to make the scene at least be somewhat visually enticing, or know how to draw your eye or keep you engaged so that you don't zone out. And this movie, you fucking zone out so hard.
Yeah. All I could think when I was watching the film was, man, the main character's hair is really straight. It is so straight.
Oh, the mother, Abby.
The mother, yeah.
Played by Mila Milosevic.
I don't care. She's no. Don't even credit her.
Don't even do it.
Don't even credit anybody in this movie.
Don't embarrass her by calling her out.
Yes. I was like, this movie's so dry and so boring. And okay, let's take one step back and look at the whole picture. What is this movie about, right? Because it's a Christmas movie. Christmas movies it's about festivities. It's about learning about the value of family and spending time with them, which movies tries to do, and it does a terrible job at it.
It does it really bad.
When it gets to that moral of the story moment where it's like, oh, it was about family this whole time. I was like, what part of the movie made it feel like she was not a good mother in that regard? She really did feel like she was trying.
She was trying, and she was being reprimanded by her boss because her boss was not being sympathetic to the fact that they lost their father. They lost the father a year prior, and he just wants the case to be done. And that's like it. I think that just happens in like 2 or 3 scenes. And then there's random scenes where her and the psychic are walking around the office building, and I don't even remember what the point of that was.
I don't
Okay,
know.
wait, hold on. So, Karate, Christmas, Miracle. We somehow have 2 actors who have been in martial arts movies. Mm-hmm. I don't understand one of their involvement in it. So Eric Roberts is supposedly the mastermind behind the mass shooting that happens, that supposedly, quote unquote, disappears the family's father. Now, Martin Cove, famous from Cobra Kai, what the hell is he doing in this movie? I don't even remember. I think he just has one scene? No,
he has 2. He has 2 scenes. But then again, I need to stress this: they are not in the movie. Not really. They were filmed separately, and they were spliced into the film. And one of those scenes you're talking about with Martin Cove talking to the son, it's clear as day that they filmed Martin Cove first. Didn't give him any script. Just told him, say random shit, and we will weave it into the story somehow. And
yeah, I don't know. It almost feels like they filmed a real conversation he was having with somebody against his permission, and he was like, what the fuck? Cause it's like so far away. It's almost like from the bushes.
And the film quality, drastically...
It's so grainy.
What's happening?
I feel like he was trying to drop a reference to Cobra Kai itself. Mm-hmm. But then there's that scene where he's talking to the main character, the little boy. Yeah. I don't even know what it's about. I think they were implying that at one point Martin Cove might have been his sensei.
Nope. No, because he said it's a girl. His sensei was a woman.
Oh, you're right. He even discredits that. He's like, I'm your sensei. And the boy's like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Oh, God, this movie. Okay, so there's that. There's some weird throwaway scene where they call each other and fake talk to each other on the phone. But then there's another scene where he is appearing in the little boy's flashbacks, and he is talking to... Is he talking to a woman in the theater?
Yes, and it's supposedly his daughter. Is it? I don't even fucking know, because he's in the theater and almost implying that he's part of the mass shooting plot. God, the more I say that out loud, the more I realize I'm like, why are we talking about mass shootings in a Christmas movie?
God,
it doesn't ultimately affect anything.
It doesn't. Do you think they're trying to go maybe sort of tie it into that other mass shooting that happened in the theater where the guy thought he was the Joker? Like that's the loosest connection.
That's
I
the
can think
loosest.
of.
Yeah, he's dressed like a clown. I
Yeah.
don't fucking know. I don't know. I don't want to read into this anymore.
Sure,
It's just lazy writing, or like bizarre lazy writing.
Mm-hmm. And then Eric Roberts is that mastermind, and we get it feels like serial killer style editing, where we get the cut to, I don't know, black TV static, and just hyper editing around him, like up close camera right in his face. Is he saying anything of importance? I don't think so.
It's gibberish. It's complete gibberish. Like sometimes it's completely muffled. Like the audio quality is, I think, deliberately made to sound like you're really in a theater, and it's not. And some of the dialogue he's given, it just doesn't. It's nonsensical. It doesn't add anything to the story. You can't even make out what he's really trying to say. I don't know why Eric Roberts keeps subjecting himself to these kind of roles.
Okay. I have some theories now, right?
Yeah.
So,
tax evasion. What?
I mean, yeah, possibly with all these movies. I think what happened is Eric Roberts and Martin Cove shot scenes for a movie or pilot or TV show, whatever. It never got picked up, and the director or the studio bought these scenes at like bargain bin prices, and then used it to splice in some footage that they could have worked the writing around, so they can get these quote unquote names, these B-list, C-list names, and say, hey, like Karate Christmas, you remember Karate Kid? Here's Martin Cove, Eric Roberts, he's done some martial arts movies, and like that's it. That's all they got. That's their trump card right there to get people to watch this.
That is so cynical, Zero, but you're probably right. That's exactly what happened. Oh God, I don't know how much else to talk about this film. And really, I think we're not stressing enough. Like the movie really meanders. It meanders like crazy, and this is where I kind of have to go into spoilers, because like up till leading all the way to the hour and 15-minute mark, it's like, okay, it's pretty cut and dry. It's scene after scene but with the exception of all those non sequitur, nonsensical scenes cutting to Martin Cove or Eric Roberts that don't add anything to the story. They really don't make any goddamn sense. There's all the scenes of mother wants the best for her son, but doesn't know how to spend time with son. And she's kind of eventually coming to the conclusion that the father's gone. And that's actually how the movie kind of wraps up. It starts with her like almost having hope that she'll find him again, and as the movie goes on, it takes this weird roller coaster ride where it's like the psychic's like, yeah, your husband's still out there, and then as the movie progresses, the main character, the mom, just eventually just abandons all hope. It's like, fuck it. I think he's gone. I just have to move on with my life. I've learned to cope. And then the lawyer's like, no, he's still out there. So she brings the main character's confidence back up, thinking that, yes, maybe she'll find him again. And then the lawyer bumps into her fiance from 20 years ago, finds out he's still alive. And then both the lawyer and the mom come to a conclusion like, yeah, the father's dead. It's fine.
that scene came out of nowhere. I think they were just basically trying to imply that, the lawyer's ability to be a psychic was just a sham, and so Hope is a sham, and you shouldn't believe in her. But then
the ending.
Yeah, we're spoiling it. Don't watch this movie. It's a fucking big waste of time. Go. So the boy who has been self-promoting himself up the ranks within 5 days to karate, the last thing he needs to do is break a board, and they get all dramatic. They have the family together. The mom's holding the board. The second he drops that elbow to snap the board in two, the father walks in through the sliding door, and
Yes.
That's it.
They all hug.
hug.
Hey, I'm back. You're a black belt now, Jesse. Okay, bye. End the movie.
Oh,
They're like, Dad, where were you? I escaped. That's in the movie.
That's the line. He escapes. Escaped from what?
I don't know. I don't know. Then the movie's like, we don't have any explanation for what's going on. And remember, I'm telling you, it's like it was like a roller coaster. It's like 1 second the main character thinks that she's going to find her husband, then she's like, she doesn't believe it, then she believes it again, and then the movie sets it up that it's definitively like a bittersweet ending. It's like, yes, like he's gone. You don't have to worry anymore. We just like what matters is that you spend time with your son now. That's what your husband would have wanted. That's how the movie set itself up. And then last minute it's like, nope, magic. Father's back.
I thought they were trying to go that route as well, because during the course of the movie, the mother starts to find out that the husband actually was doing all these things without her knowing, but not necessarily bad things. They found out that the husband was doing free, like pro bono lawyer casework for these people. She found out that he was doing like gun seminars. That's why he was at the theater because of the mass shooting. They found out that he was also a black belt himself. So I thought they were going to go that route where, she didn't really know who her husband was, and like, she didn't really like what she was uncovering by trying to look into him after his death. And then it would be about her accepting, like, okay, well, he's gone. He's not the person who I thought he was. You know, let me just enjoy my time with my son. And an elbow drop to some cheap-ass wood changes all of that.
All I needed was for my son to self-anoint himself a black belt, and that'll just magically materialize out of thin air.
I mean, he did.
That's how. Yeah, I mean, that's how. Hey, you guys with missing family members out there, that's what you need to do. You don't stop putting your faces on milk cartons. Just rise the ranks of your local karate dojo, and there you go. Yeah, that's the solution to all the missing problems. There's no such thing as human trafficking or anything like that. That's all this is. Oh my god! And again, we talked about the story to ad nauseum. There's not much action to talk about. The kid fights, like, spars a handful of other kids in the movie, and it's a bunch of kids, so it's like, all right, it's not really anything to talk about at all.
It's not even karate.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's MMA, because it also says MMA on his fucking gi.
Yeah, it's like sloppy grappling. A lot of it's more grappling than striking. So yeah, I think where's the karate?
I think the best martial arts scene was when he's doing.
I know what you're talking.
When he's like punching and kicking on the couch.
He's just like kicking,
and he starts kicking and punching the couch. And then it cuts, and it has like really, really bad, like phoned in metal music playing, and then he starts doing push-ups. That was, oh my god.
Oh my god. Yeah, so that's I don't know what else to say about this. Don't watch this movie. Don't just listen to you've listened to our review. So that's all you really need. Do not support this film. It's on Tubi. It's for free if you're morbidly curious. I would rather watch if this movie was like a remake, cuz I saw the title and I honed in on the word miracle. If this movie was a Karate Christmas Miracle on 34th Street, and it was just a flat out remake of Christmas Miracle on 34th Street, but with karate,
yeah, with just everybody doing karate.
Yes,
every time you break a board, an angel gets its wings.
Yeah.
I would much rather watch that. But you know what? I would also much rather watch, but it's probably going to be a huge letdown. So after watching this on Tubi, it started to queue up a different movie. Do you know what other movie queued up?
I know you're going
to wrestling Christmas Miracle. An 11-year-old wrestling champ makes the decision to leave the mat behind so he can make a Christmas movie to bring his best friend out of a coma.
This kid is cursed. He's so fucked. It's the same actor, by the way.
It's the same actors, but I don't think it's a sequel in any way. I think they just got the same cast. But in the... I feel like this has got to be a joke. But in the IMDb trivia for A Wrestling Christmas Miracle, Robert Z'Dar was originally cast, but he had to leave production when his pet mini horse was attacked by 3 pit bulls.
Oh my god. I was gonna say, maybe that's the miracle that he wasn't in this movie.
Probably so. Oh god.
We should talk about that next year.
I don't know if I want the listeners to succumb to that, but maybe they might succumb to it if it was a wrestling Christmas Miracle on 34th Street. And god, is this where we're ending it? Is this
I think that's how we're ending. Yeah,
is
that's
this
fine.
The Christmas gift to our
that's our Christmas gift. Yeah,
oh
yeah,
god,
yeah.
so
everyone's
sorry.
gonna be atheist after this movie.